Welcome in, everybody, to The Dynasty. It's a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, along with A.J. McCarron and Trent Richardson. I'm Chris Stewart. Of course, those guys won multiple national championships for Alabama. I had the privilege of watching them from the broadcast booth, and we just try to share with you what's going on with the Tide and also some past stories and experiences each and every week. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're looking for the show, just go to thedynastybama.com, and also hope that you will listen, rate, review, and share across social media at The Dynasty Bama. Coming up today, of course, we're going to react to Bama's 20-9 win over LSU, including the dominant performance by the defense in that ball game. We're going to talk about what this team's identity actually is, and we're going to look ahead to next week's game against Oklahoma. But, guys, we missed you, Trent, but we'd be remiss, AJ, if we didn't spend a little time talking about the fact we got to do a live show on Friday from T-Town. Thanks to Two Dimes for hosting us and getting a chance to visit with a lot of people. They were asking about you, Trent. I know that you'd have loved to have been there. Unfortunately, your Hoover Bucks had a rough one in the state playoffs, but AJ, just a great weekend and got a chance to visit with a lot of people who are fans of the Dynasty.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the best part about it, like we talked about, before the show started, the mix of different ages in the crowd was pretty cool. I mean, you had an older fan base, you got the younger crowd from a college standpoint, and then in between around our age. So,
well,
big
that
shout
was
out
generous
to
on your part, by the way. Thank you for that. Around our age, that was generous. Even though I know you meant you and Trent, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, always looking out.
Yeah.
But no, big shout out to Two Dimes. I thought it was awesome. Athletes first. I thought the whole thing was well put together, well run, and looking forward to hopefully us being able to do a ton more in the future.
A huge shout out to our boy Steve Gorgie as well, the guy that you don't see very much or hear a ton from, but we got to make sure we give him his roses because technically speaking, making that stuff work with the rest of the crew that put all that together. But I had Steve in my ear in a live show for the first time and made sure he kept us on schedule, and just fantastic. And Trent got to show him around T-Town a little bit. I know you got to meet him in person. That's kind of the cool thing about this. You got to see him in person, but you were telling me it was, you weren't there, but everybody's asking us where you were, and you had a lot of people saying they wish you'd been there as well because it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it's amazing, man, to watch our show and to see how much we developed as a group, as one. But just to see the reaction from the fans and see everybody coming out and seeing all the messages and everybody text me where you at, and or hit me in my DM like, hey man, where you at, man? We wanted you here, and and just letting them know that I'm out here coaching, man. So I definitely would have been there. Fortunately, we lost, so I won't miss another one. So, but man, it happens. But it was a great weekend. Got to meet Steve for the first time, man. My dog, first guy I've ever met shorter than Coach Saban. But
I knew that shot was coming. I thought he was a strapping young man. So, golly,
this is like
you're
this is
officially
Steve.
family now.
What's Steve? What's Steve?
What's the rest of him? Our boy. Oh boy, no, it was fun, and that was the thing. We all got to experience the weekend. AJ, I know you had to get back with family stuff. Trent, you may have missed Friday. Good Lord, I had so much stuff going. I don't know which event I was working, but it was an awesome weekend. I know LSU ain't LSU right now, but the weekend had that feel to it, Trent. It was pretty exciting, and I know we didn't play great, but we played well enough. And that was the main thing.
Yeah. Before we get into that, you was pretty dapper too, man. You You was dressed up pretty nice, man. I seen
Yeah,
you.
I had a black tie deal afterwards. I was way
Oh, okay. That's what it
overdressed.
was. Okay,
I
okay,
had the Bryant
okay.
Society that night. All the big time donors were being honored, so I had to go to that as soon as we finished up on Friday. Normally, although I did look like I could be waiting tables somewhere at Chuck's or somewhere down there, but no, it's a big weekend, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
know it was a little bit different feel, LSU not being what they've been, but it was still good enough, and that's what you needed.
Oh, yeah. When you think about LSU and Bama, it's gonna always, to me, it's gonna always be a big one. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a rival regardless because it is the SEC right now. I mean, for the last 15 years, it's been between LSU, Bama, Georgia. You can put Florida in there. It's been, kind of the meat of the bones of the SEC. And so, to have a performance like that, with the fans, with the whole weekend, with, how the game turned out, getting the win, wasn't the most prettiest win in the world, but we got it. And so, man, it was a great weekend. It was one of the weekends that you can learn from. It was one of the weekends that, you know, it's still like positive because we still got a lot of football out there that we left. And
Mhm.
so, man, I like I said, I'm excited to see how great this team can be when they're at their full potential.
Yeah. How about for you, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, listen, anytime you can come away with a win, it's always awesome. As a quarterback, and it's a different mindset and position than anybody else on the field and on the team. You're always, I mean, even when you're done playing, you're always thinking about, all right, what you're doing wrong, how you can get better. Um, the biggest concern for me right now is we got to figure out second half offense. I mean, we have struggled
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I mean, since Georgia game, you had 0 points in the second half. You scored all 24 in the first. Vandy, you had 16. Mizzou, you had 10. Tennessee, you had 14. South Carolina, you had 15 all in the fourth quarter, but you really only had 7 before that last drive. And then I think you scored 14 points total, um, as an offense. So I just, and then 3 versus LSU. I mean,
Right.
we got to figure out what we're doing in the second half. We're not coming out of the tunnel to start fast or keep the same momentum. And
Mhm.
but listen, I mean, as a quarterback, that's the way I think because you're always trying to figure out how you can get better. But a win's a win, and you got to love it.
Yeah. We'll talk more offense in the second segment of the show. Let's be, in terms of getting into some of the particulars. I do want to start with the crowd. We talked about our crowd for the live show that we did on Friday, but that should have been a little bit of an indicator of what Saturday may be like with the noise. And Kalen DeBoer said on the radio show Wednesday night, he said it in pregame to me on Friday before it aired on Saturday that the crowd needed to have an impact. Well, they did.
Yeah, yeah.
7 false starts, including a couple that were deep in Bama territory, and it was obvious that crowd was hyped and was going to be part of it.
Massive.
Yeah,
I mean, just to keep it simple. I mean, you could tell LSU burned a ton of
Mhm.
timeouts in situations where it ended up hurting them. They really didn't need to burn timeouts in that situation with the game clock or play clock going low. Um, I mean, I thought the crowd was electric. I mean, you could tell even through the TV that they were into it. And because I said, listen, if you don't come out and start fast, this team is going to have some juice. And they
Yeah,
did. LSU had juice on defense to start the game. Um, their offense hit a little bit and then went through a lull for a while. But um, I tell you, the difference maker on defense right now is Pierre.
yeah.
I mean, he has changed this defense, dude. He
Yeah.
really has. I mean, him being able to, the defense only rushing 3, 4 guys and getting push on the pocket and causing havoc. I mean, it makes a difference, a massive difference. You're able to put more guys back in coverage, drop more guys. Um, anytime you're dropping 7 to 8 guys for an offense, that's tough. And you're able to play zone, and everybody's good in their zone, and it's not always man. Makes it tough for the opposing offense.
So strong on that defensive side of the ball, Trent.
Yeah, and I think every week, Bray Herbert. He's showing up every week. He's playing lights out, and I think he's been a big staple of the defense too. Him, Pierre,
Justin Jefferson.
yeah, Justin has been lights out. Like, yeah, I'm glad he came back and he
Yeah.
needed this year. And it really shows. And he's doing a lot of great things with that defense, man. I'm telling you, it's right now to me. Defense is doing what they're supposed to be doing. And my words is, and I know we're gonna talk about it on the other side, but is the run game, and that's on both sides. We got to be able to stop the run game, and we got to be able to run the ball. And so when we're able to do that, we're to me we're the best team in America.
Yeah. Well, he held him to, let's see, 59 yards. Is that what it was? Yeah, 59 yards, and they got 66 on one carry.
Yeah.
So I know there was sack yardage and stuff where that counts in the run game as well. But man, they for the most part did what we expected. But who'd ever thought you'd have LSU and Alabama combining?
That's crazy.
For what? 120 yards?
That's crazy.
Between the two, I think it was exactly 120 between the two sides. 232 yards total offense for LSU, 3 field goals. We talk about Yanze Pierre, but Nakai Hill-Green and LT Overton are names that I called a bunch on the radio broadcast as well. That play that Hill-Green made in the first quarter was one we wound up featuring on the TV show with Coach DeBoer, where he punches the ball out and recovers the fumble early on, and that led to the first points for Alabama, and that came after the missed field goal from Talty. So you're able to still keep them down in that end of the field because of a big play, because that was a first down that he had just gained on that play before Nakai pokes it out. But those were the tight plays, and to me, guys, they're individuals, but we're talking about so many different ones that we're getting into a spot where depth and the depth that this team has may be as much the strength as anything else right now. Am I off in saying that?
No, I agree with you. And I've been yelling about this all year. I said I'm excited about those guys that's behind the starters. I kept saying that. Like, people don't realize what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, it was.
Well, that's why your teams were so good.
Yeah, it was exciting
Y'all
to
had
see
future
Mark.
NFL guys behind you.
Yeah, it was exciting to see Mark when he was a starter, but it was definitely exciting to see the younger guy come in. And even when I was a starter, it was definitely great to see Eddie come in and do what he do. And that's how you know, like, your future is a promise. You know that you're going to have a stellar, whatever it is, at that position in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I tell folks all the time, man, next man up.
The problem is, AJ, you never know if that guy that's the backup right now is going to be with you next year, even though he's young, because somebody may try to come after him with that free agent deal known as NIL.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I absolutely hate it, but it's just what college football is. I mean, they're doing some things to clean it up, from now going to a one window, portal, transfer portal, and things like that, and having rev share and NIL, true NIL, having to go through a third party organization and all that. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, everybody's hired mercenaries now in college football. It's just the way it is.
I didn't mean to go off track with that, but that was just something that popped into my head about the those guys that are backups. Hey, all right, so speaking of a guy who could be somewhere else next year, Garrett Nussmeier gets pulled for Michael Van Buren in the third quarter. Why do you think that decision was made by Frank Wilson? We saw a little conversation. I don't want to say altercation. Coaches coaching and players being coached. That happens. So I don't want to make too much of it. But it was after he took that sack that should have taken him out of field goal range. They did make the kick, but after they went backwards on that drive where they had first and goal, I think at the 7, and had to settle for a 40-plus yard field goal, they kind of got into it. And what'd you think of the switch, AJ? And have we seen the last, in all likelihood, of Garrett Nussmeier at QB for the Tigers?
Well, I mean, listen, yes, I think possibly so. Allow him to go get healthy and heal up and get ready for the draft. But at the same time, listen, it comes with the position. All right, head coach just got fired. Who's after the head coach? And when things aren't going well, it's the quarterback.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is, part of the business. I mean, hell, he was 18 and 21. Listen, their O-line's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they are really bad, and they can't run the football at all. I mean, they really struggle to run the football. Their passing concepts are awful. I mean, from a kid that was throwing the ball all down the field last year and pushing it, I mean, they run more screens. I'd love to see their percentages on pass concepts. I mean, screens has to be at least 50% of their offense. They just don't allow them to push the ball down the field. But and then there's a little mixture of that where it falls on Nuss. He's a little gun shy from a sense of you get hit so many times, you start to feel ghost. You not always see them like Sam Darnold would say, but you feel them, and the pocket feels like it's closing in on you faster than what it actually is. And so your time clock just speeds up, and you end up playing out of your element. So, listen, the other Van Buren, he was more of a runner. Does he throw it like Nuss from a timing and accuracy standpoint? No. But Frank Wilson's got to do something to try to get them going. I think if they score on that drive, if Nuss steps up when the play where he takes the big sack, if he steps up and escapes out to his left, he stays in the game. But, things aren't going well for him over there right now with BK getting fired. He didn't get along with him, it seemed like, and then Frank's not really working out either. So,
yeah, it's a tough
well,
spot.
Not only that though, he lost his offensive coordinator too. So it's one of those things to where, like, man, I don't know what system they've got it in, or they still running the same system. Like it's kind of hard to, to game plan when you don't lost your offensive coordinator and your head coach when they're both offensive guys.
Well, it looked like they fired their OC, but kept his playbook.
Yeah,
we're going to fire
to
you,
keep his
but,
playbook. Yeah,
but keep that, and we're just going to run these same plays.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to do what you done taught us, the ones that we know for sure, right?
I'm like
playbook, coloring book.
I felt bad for Nuss, but I was happy as hell for Alabama and our team. But I felt bad for Nuss. I'm like, damn, they're running the same stuff over and over.
Yeah. Let me flip it the other way, though. How tough is it for a defense, Trent, to switch mid-game to a very different style quarterback? Now, again, we had similar results, but that's not an easy adjustment on the fly.
No, it's not. It's tough. I tell people this all the time, and people say what they want to say about us winning that championship our freshman year.
Yeah.
We didn't prepare for a quarterback that was going to sit in the pocket that was going to just throw the ball.
Yeah.
When Colt
was
running the ball,
Colt got hurt game.
Yeah, when Colt was moving around, we was prepared for that. Him doing what he do, and I think the only reason they got on the scoreboard because Colt got knocked off the game because we wasn't prepared for that quarterback. It's just it's a difference, man. Like, it's a big difference.
Yeah. It's always massive. I mean, especially when you go from, um, one end of the spectrum to the other, right? When
Mhm.
it's a night and day difference, when you got a pocket guy, and then all of a sudden you go to a true, running guy, or vice versa, just because your defensive schemes are so different. You've prepared all week long, in our case, 2 weeks long for this. So it is tough, but hell, I thought the defense did a great job. They
Yeah.
responded, played well. I mean, you're gonna give up some plays. I think in that situation, the biggest thing is bend, don't break.
Mm.
Is what your mindset goes to. So hey, we're willing to, you know, let them matriculate the ball down the field and kind of sustain drives a little bit, but when it gets closer, we'll make the plays, and leave them to only making field goals, and that's what it turned into.
Well, guys, when we come back after talking defense, we are going to spend some more time on the offense and try to figure out why the offense may struggle in other spots. But man, don't give us less than 2 minutes and no timeouts at the end of the first half. We can find a way to move that sucker to the end zone in a hurry. Ty Simpson's performance and this team's identity. What are they as we hit the stretch run? Stay with us. We're continuing here on The Dynasty. It's a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. College football not feeling as juicy as it once did? Well, let me put you on to something that'll shake up your Saturday and every other day of the week. Because now that Wendy's has crispy chicken tendies and a powerhouse lineup of new sauces, it's time you transferred to the hottest team in the league.
That's right. Team Tendies. Wendy's Tendies. They're making an undeniable rookie season, one for the books.
Enjoy first-string flavor from some five-star recruits. Rep your new favorite team everywhere you go, but make sure to cheer with your mouth closed. Take it to the end zone of savory sauces like honey barbecue, creamy ranch, and the new Wendy's signature sauce to experience a total taste bud blitz of flavor. It's time to join a team that won't upset you with an upset. Taste the phenom that's gracing the gridiron with its juicy, crispy, and tendery tendencies.
Don't fumble the bag. Commit to Team Tendies and call the most delicious plays in the playbook. All right, huddle up. Tendies on three. Tendies on three. 1, 2, 3.
Tendies.
Let's do this.
Wendy's Chicken Tendies, now at participating U.S. Wendy's. Welcome back to The Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, all the different platforms where you can find it. TheDynastyBama.com is the hub for us, and wherever you're listening, please rate and review across social media at The Dynasty Bama. Guys, we talked a lot of defense in the last segment. Let's talk offense. Ty Simpson, 3-play, 66-yard drive with under a minute to go in the first half. Gave Bama a 17-3 lead. It was the fifth time this season Bama scored a TD with under a minute left in the first half. What's different, and whether they got timeouts or not, what's different late in the half as opposed to the rest of the game? Why is it more explosive, it seems, in that situation than it has been consistently, we'll say, at other times? Trent, what do you got?
2-minute drill. He's a master at being able to run that 2-minute drill and place guys in places where they're supposed to be. He
About
has
Ty or the
Ty.
coaching staff? Okay.
Ty. He's just a master at it. And coaching staff does a great thing. Great calling it at the same time. But at that point in time, AJ, if I'm not mistaken, like quarterback really is the offense coordinator in a 2-minute drill for real.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be, especially
Yeah, it used to be.
now that they had the headset. I mean, he's getting calls in. During our time was different because it was, hey, you knew if you were right hash, you were Dolphin right. If you knew you were left hash, you were train right. And we kind of had our set plays, but now it's easier because you got the headset. So I'm sure Grubb is giving him a call of what he wants, but
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Like Ty, he throws the perfect ball too. Like those I think he had a couple over routes or crossing routes. He threw to the tight end and Brooks. Like he hitting that same crossing route to Brooks every week. Like nobody has stopped it yet.
Yeah.
And so
When
that
he's
2 minute
on.
yeah. And he's on. Like
Yeah.
it ain't
When
that
he's
it ain't that
off.
yeah. And he's off. He's not that off.
Right.
His off is everybody else good right now.
No, I get it. My point is, I guess there's a couple of plays. How was it? Georgia with Jeremy? Maybe it was South Carolina. He missed Jeremy
It was South
on
Carolina.
what would have been a touchdown.
Yep.
He missed. He
He
underthrew
missed
a
Jeremy
guy.
the other night.
Yeah, he underthrew one, overthrew the other. I think it was an overthrow to Jeremy. Back-to-back plays where if you connect on either one of those, I know the second one would have gone for a touchdown. First one might have. Point is, it's the offense and it's everybody. But man, one play here or there, and the way you perceive and see the offense collectively looks a lot different, right? Am I missing that?
No, I mean, listen, they spend a ton of time. I mean, anybody that's played the game of football or played at Alabama, especially all summer long, you're spending time with 2 minute, and that's all you do. I mean, you would go out and do 7-on-7 in the off season, and then you have a couple periods of 2 minute at the end that you're going against the defense, and so there's also a thing with offenses where you when you're struggling or when it seems uh like you just don't have any juice or pace to you, by switching the pace up and going up tempo also brings some life to the offense. And this offense, when they've needed it, whether it be South Carolina, uh, certain plays in the Georgia game, the 2 minute has brought life to them. So that's the good thing about this offense is, listen, when they've had to make plays, they made plays. Now, as I thought Ty was off. I thought the last 2 weeks Ty's been off on accuracy a little bit, especially down the field, pushing the ball down the field. I feel if I had a chance to talk to him, I think falling away from his throws and kind of trying to be so off platform and quick, I think he's getting out of balance. Mechanics are falling a little bit, but I mean, listen, 2 minute offense has been really successful all year long, and that's what you need in these situations.
Lottie Brooks is one of about 9 different players. Man, they spread the wealth so much on offense, guys, that 3 linemen have catches this year. Now, granted, 2 of those were deflections, but still, you had Wilkin Formby snatch one out of the air and turn what could have been disaster or even negative yardage into a positive gain on the play. But Lottie had 7 targets, 67 yards. That long catch we referenced at the end of the half to set up the touchdown. Josh Cuevas is maybe right behind Jeremy in terms of your most valuable wideout or receiver, not wideout, obviously. But they lined him up at fullback the other day for a couple of plays. Had a 32-yard catch on the first TD drive. Jeremy was Jeremy. Ryan had a big catch again. Talk about Cuevas and what he brings to the offense as a whole, AJ, and how valuable he is.
I mean, he's massive. I mean, one, he's a big dude. He runs well. He catches the ball well. In the run game, he blocks well. It makes it so hard, right? Because listen, when you have a difference in tight ends, or you'll have a blocking tight end, and then you have most teams have a guy that's going to be a receiving tight end. And when you have a dude that can do both, it makes it tough from a defensive standpoint, and from a D coordinator standpoint is, how do you match up with that personnel? All right. So if the offense is coming out in 11 personnel, which Cuevas would be the only tight end, But and now the defense says, okay, well, we're going to play base to 11. All right, so now you spread them out. Well, now if that defense is in base, a lot of times they'll play man coverage. And so now you got a linebacker or a safety that's coming down trying to match up with a tight end that is bigger. The tight end's bigger than the safety, runs just as well as the safety, and has a bigger range than the safety. And then you match them up with a linebacker, it's even more issues for the defense, right? So, or if they say, hey, we want to go nickel, and we'll just play them to nickel in their 11. Well, now you have a box problem and a size problem from the run game standpoint, right? You should, because now they take out linebacker, they're putting in an extra DB. So it's the issue of that that is cause for the defense when you have a dude like Cuevas that is able to do so much. And he's been big. I mean, he catches the ball really well. Like I said, can run really well. He's been an excellent player for this offense for sure.
Trent, your thoughts?
He real good with his hands. Physical guy. I like to call them type of guys like anytime guys, because anytime you give him the ball or anytime you're in the game, he's bound to do something great, man. So that guy there, man, he's different. He's one of those X factors that people don't really give enough credit to, and it reminds me a lot of guys that we had. Like a lot of people don't give Brad Smiley the doggone credit that he need at Bama. What he's done there. A lot of people don't give big Preston Dow, what he's done there. And those are two different guys at two different talents. Preston Dow was more of a blocker. Brad was more of he was going to be able to catch the ball and he can block too. So just like what AJ said, you have those type of receivers, and when you have those type of tight ends, that you could just put them any place. You could put them at fullback. I mean, we really didn't have a fullback when we was in school. We used to use our tight ends, and so that's what Bama do. So I'm proud of what that kid is doing, man. So he's been a big X factor, and keep doing what you're doing, kid.
Guys, let's talk about the running game or lack thereof. And Trent, you've been talking about it for a while. Yeah, the lack of a running game. Let me put it that way. I thought the most glaring and most disappointing example came on the first drive of the game. You popped off 8 yards after you'd gotten it around midfield, just in LSU territory. You get 8 yards on first down. You got 2nd and 2.5. And you ran the football 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And you gained 1.5 yards. That is not typical of Alabama. We know they've done other things we talked about to mask it a little bit in the short passing game. They've had some success in other games running it late. But Saturday, I thought was a real problem when you're not able to get that early, when you're trying to establish dominance against a team that's wounded like LSU was.
Yeah. To me, I would have went underneath the center. And even if they go pistol,
they did on one.
Yeah, on one.
One of them was Ty's QB sneak, right, on that drive.
Yeah.
Which I don't
that
know.
That may have
if
been the fourth down play. Can't remember.
Yeah, I want to say they handed they did the QB sneak before they
maybe
handed
it was
the
third.
ball off to Jam because they were in empty.
Yeah.
I believe, and then Ty came up, which we used to have that where if you see, 2-3 techniques and you got some, an A gap opening, or if you like one side more than the other, and you'd give a duck call, duck go, and then it's like a QB sneak out of nowhere. I feel like that's what that was. Maybe it was called to, do the QB sneak, but
yeah. But Trent, one stop is one thing, but when you get stopped on 3 consecutive and you can't gain more than 2.5 yards, that was a problem.
My thing is like guys, you gotta have a different mentality running the ball. And it's not just running the ball; it's offensive line. Like offensive line, you're part of the run game, so you gotta have a different mentality, especially when you get in the red zone. And you can see the mentality that Daniel Hill had on his touchdown. Like, he's dragging 3 to 4 dudes into the end zone. So
Yeah.
that tells me enough that, hey, this cat can run a ball. This guy can run a ball. He's determined. He's not getting taken down. He's getting across the end zone. And so to see that type of run and to see the results of, man, we don't have any rushing yards, like,
Yeah.
that's tough, man. Because I can see the extra that this guy's going to get to the end zone. So to see that type of performance and to see that, hey, O-line, we can move people. So I don't know what it is right now. Is mind bothering because and for me, we said something early in the show, to see Bama in LSU without a run game, that's tough. Like, that's
Strange to see.
me. Yeah, it's strange. I don't want to say disappointing. It's strange to see. Like, even when we had all the great receivers that, everybody liked to talk, we still had a run game, some type of a run game.
One of the reasons you were so good in the passing game is because you did have the threat of a running game to balance it out. AJ, with both the offense, we've talked about the offense, but the defense too. How do they take it to the next gear as we come down the stretch of the regular season? And look, 2 games, Oklahoma and Auburn, that'll determine if this team is in the SEC championship, which will put you, if you're able to have success, in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I think for us defensively is just keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting pass rush up front. I think that's what's elevated our defense, from the first game to where we're at now. Has been Pierre, has been Overton, has been TK, has been guys that have been able to get pushed by only rushing 4 and being able to drop more guys and play less man and more zone and match up with Kane's mindset of how he wants the defense to truly look. Offensively for us, we have to figure out how, one, we can for sure establish some sort of run game, whether that's we need to be more outside zone runs, get on the edge, more jet sweeps, get the ball into other guys' hands. I mean, even if it's, a fly sweep where you're tossing it out of the shotgun and that's just an extension of the run game, but it goes down as a pass. But doing more things on the edge, because downhill runs right now are just not our thing, and we're not having a ton of success with it. I think that's the biggest thing for us to take this next step, because listen, you're going to be going up, especially this week. You want to talk about a defense that can pass rush and play together, and they fly around to the football. This Oklahoma defense is for real. And I think if you don't have a run game that helps slow down this pass rush that OU has, like it's going to make for a tough game. And then Auburn's not a great team, but their defense has kept them in it all year long, and they played hard the other night, even when you thought they were out of it, battling and took Vandy into overtime, and that was a really good game too. So they got some tough ones ahead. You just gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other and figuring out how we can fix our issues.
We got more to talk about as we preview Alabama, Oklahoma in the next segment, and also our must-watch games of the week, brought to you by Wonder Fan. Stay with us. We're back to wrap things up next here on The Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Support for The Dynasty comes from Google. Being a college football fan these days means you're part analyst, part GM, and part rules expert. The game is just so much more complex than it used to be. 1 minute, you're trying to decode X's and O's. The next, you're debating the transfer portal. This is what college football fandom is all about, and AI mode in Google search is perfect for it. It's built to handle all those nuanced, complicated questions that go way beyond a simple stat.
You can ask it to do a deep dive on strategy, like break down how the spread offense compares to the pro style offense based on philosophy and pace. Or then you can pivot to more off the field elements and ask, what are the main reasons there have been more college football transfers in recent years?
You can even get real-time analysis, like asking how have this year's college football rules changes impacted the season so far?
AI mode pulls all the info together for you. So whether you're wondering about a complex scheme, a new rule, or why your favorite roster looks so different every year, you can just ask Google.
You know that feeling when your team wins? It's electric. You're pacing the room, texting your group chat, yelling like you called the game-winning play yourself. Now imagine that winning energy hits right as your DoorDash order arrives. Perfect timing. Drinks are cold, pizza's hot, wings and fries are perfectly crispy. Now you're not just a fan, you're a winner. DoorDash turns every good college football game day into a great one, with game day favorites delivered right to your door, right when you need them the most. So go ahead, ride that high, celebrate that W. Just try not to spike the remote out of excitement when the food shows up. Your team wins, you win. DoorDash delivers the W in food form. Welcome back, everybody, to The Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. TheDynastyBama.com is where you find all the different platforms where you can check out the show. And if you are listening, rate, review, and check us out across social media at The Dynasty Bama. Time for us to take a look at our Wonder Fan must-watch games of the week. We turn our attention to Week 12, and it's time for those must-watch games brought to you by Wonder Fan. It's the app that pays you to be a fan. The Wonder Fan app is absolutely free to use. You can earn rewards for doing things you already love, like attending games, watching live sports on TV, and now watching podcasts like ours, The Dynasty. And you can find that on YouTube. But none of that really matters unless you get the app first, AJ.
Got to go download it. Only takes a couple minutes. Hundreds of Bama fans and college football fans have already done it. Just go get the app, download it, sign up, and get paid to watch games.
It's a good way to take care of things, and it's easy. You'll earn 50 Wonder, which is what we call the points, by submitting a screenshot in the Wonder Fan app as you watch our podcast on your connected TV or any second screen, just as you do when watching live sports. But there's so many other ways to earn as well. With the Tide hosting Oklahoma this weekend, want to remind you that if you are using Wonder Fan's Attend to Earn feature when you're at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, you're going to earn double points all season long. And as always, you earn double points when you use Wonder Fan's Watch to Earn feature for any of our must-watch games of the week. So outside of the big one in Tuscaloosa, Trent, what are you going to have your eye on this week?
Man, I'll be watching Notre Dame at Pitt. And we
Okay.
do know Notre Dame has a great running game with Jeremiah Love. He's been running it all year. They started off 0-2. I think they won, 7 since in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And so Notre Dame's on the road, man. And so to see what they're going to do with this freshman quarterback from Pitt, man, he's been doing his thing. Mason, I ain't going to butcher this last name. I'm going to just stay with the
Heinchel.
first
How
name.
about that? I'll help you out on that one. Heinchel.
All
Yeah,
right,
him.
Heinchel.
Yeah,
old
Mason.
Heinchel. Yeah, old Mason. Hey, well, he's won 5 in a row.
Good call on your part.
He's doing this thing, man. So he got that. He got them pits going, man, and that kid, he's out there playing his lights out, man. So I'm waiting to see this battle.
All right, the Texas quarterback AJ is pronounced Manning. And so yeah, we got you covered there, but I think that is your game of the week. It's a good one. We got Bama, Oklahoma, but also that other one taking place in Athens is pretty good.
Well, it's massive. Texas at Georgia, playoff implications all on the line for this game, possibly for both teams. I mean, you just never know. You don't. If you're Georgia, you don't want to give the committee a chance to even kick you out or have a reason to kick you out. And then if you're Texas, you got to win out. You got this one, and you got A&M left in the season, but this one this week in Athens is going to be a tough one. Arch is playing better. Gunnar Stockton's playing well for Georgia. I think this is going to be an awesome game to watch.
All right. So you're going to get double points when you use Wonder Fans Watch to Earn feature for any of our must-watch games of the week. Notre Dame, Pitt, Texas, Georgia, and, of course, Oklahoma and Alabama. The best part, you can redeem those points for things you actually want, like memorabilia, gear, gift cards, some of your favorite restaurants, retailers. Trent, what you got your eye on this week?
Well, man, it's that time of the year. Football season, high school football season is over with for me. So it's time to start doing stuff around the house. So I'm going to Home Depot this week.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Did that this weekend myself. Could have used the gift cards from Wonder Fan. If you're ready to get paid to be a fan, again, it's wonderfan.com. Search for Wonder Fan in the Apple or Android App Store to download the app. That's WUNDER Fan. Wonder Fan, where it pays to be a fan. All right, guys, let's preview Oklahoma in the time we got left. Bama, a 6.5-point favorite, a really disappointing loss, maybe the most disappointing one of the year. Others hurt, stung, they all do. But when you play like you did against that Oklahoma team at that time, it really stings. 24-3 on the road. They're very different. Bama's very different. That all being said, AJ, can you take anything from last year's game other than be ready all week long?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. Listen, this team, this OU team is it started the year off amazing and playing really well. Offense, John Mateer, I mean, they were hitting on all cylinders. Mateer gets hurt, comes back Texas game probably a little earlier than what he wanted. But he's a fighter trying to play through it. Didn't look the same, but I feel like they, as an offense, they're starting to find their groove again. And this OU defense can pass rush. They are a fly around and hit you defense. Listen, Coach Venables is a all-time great defensive coordinator. He's going to have these dudes ready. If you're Alabama, you gotta find some sort of run game. And I think the screen game comes big this week for trying to slow that pass rush down. So I think it's going to be an awesome game. I really do. But Bama's got to come ready to play.
Trent, with Venables, as AJ already talked about, a real defensive guy. He took over the play calling in the offseason. Oklahoma is now third in the nation in sacks, seventh in points allowed. What kind of challenge does the OU defense present to Alabama and Ryan Grubb as a play caller?
I think when it comes down to it, it's going to have to start up front. And the challenge is going to be able to, how can you stop these cats from, and I keep saying these guys from sacking the quarterback. How can we keep Ty protected? First way is you got to be able to control the offensive line, like the line of scrimmage. And so to have some type of a run game, I don't know if it's through Jeremy Bernard, and like AJ was saying earlier, I don't know, we do it some jet sweeps, whatever we got to do to get some type of run game going, because this is going to be a game. I believe this game and our next SEC game is going to be those games that you're going to need that run game. If you don't have it, we're going to be in a dog fight, and that dog fight is going to be hard as hell to come out of.
Yeah. AJ, Missouri is another team that was ranked in the top 20 in sacks per game. In that one, Ty got sacked 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So what's Bama got to do besides what Trent's already talked about to neutralize that OU pass rush?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think screens are big when you play teams like this. And it's not just running back screens. I think it's screens out wide, making the big boys retreat and go run sideways. So many, when people think of screens, they think of like, okay, we're just trying to draw them in, and then the running back's right over the top of them, or little chip screens, stuff like that. that's not so much of a retreat because those guys are just going up and then right back. You want this D line to be tired. So expand the screen game to where it's out wide. So they're up the field. Now they're having to retreat out and run sideline to sideline. And then you mix some tempo with that. But to mix tempo up, I mean, you got to be successful on first and second down. Because if you're going fast and you're not successful on first and second down, well, now you're in third and long situations, and that's not where you want to live either. Because I'm telling you, you allow this OU defense to know that you're passing the ball, and they just get to pin their ears back and rush the quarterback. Like it is not a recipe for success. Ask Auburn. You watched the last 6 minutes of the OU and Auburn game. And Jackson Arnold was getting depleted, and Auburn couldn't do a thing to slow it down. I mean, it was tough to watch from a quarterback perspective. So, better find a way to be successful by slowing this pass rush down some sort of way with the screen game, and then also bringing Cuevas and other guys in to where you might go unbalanced, or you might be in max protection to where it's only two guys on a route concept, but you're able to chip and bang with the running back and tight end, and then let them work out into the flat late, so you have an outlet for Ty, but got to find a way to clean up the protection for sure, because they're going to have one.
This back-to-back weeks where we're facing a quarterback who was a preseason Heisman candidate, and for whatever reason, primarily injury with John Mateer, has not been what was expected. Ups and downs since making his return from that injury, 2 TDs, 4 picks in the last 4 games, but he is still a big play threat, especially with his legs. What do you see from the offense, and is the defense ready for another test against a mobile quarterback? And that is a major difference between Mateer and Nussmeier in terms of what their strengths actually are.
Well, he throws the ball, and Mateer throws the ball better than any dual threat you've faced so far. I think Mateer throws the ball better than Sellers. He throws the ball better than Pavia. Van Buren, the list goes on. This dude can throw the football. Now, is the UCL issue that he was out for with his thumb, and I believe he got surgery on it. Now, can that cause some issues? And if it's colder weather, I mean, there's so many factors when it comes to that. I know from experience. I've had mine. But this dude can play, and I'm just telling you, you don't want Mateer to get hot because he can throw it and he can run it. He can extend plays. The defense has got to play well.
So do you put pressure on him, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have a Rolodex of looks for him to where you never give him the same look. And
keep him uncomfortable.
I think you're always trying to make him think. When you face guys like this and guys that are just coming back from injury, as much as you can throw at them, and to where, hey, it looks like we're playing quarters, and all of a sudden we're bringing 4 week. And then we're rolling the coverage on him, or we show man, and all of a sudden we get back into zone, or we're 1 high and we go to 2 high, or vice versa. I think as much as you can mix it up, change the looks up, I think that's what causes, you want him to think. Yeah, you want him to think as much as possible, and then it being in our stadium in Bryant-Denny, you want him to have to communicate from a protection standpoint and get everything right as well.
Guys, as we wrap it up, we're sitting here with one of the 2, if not the marquee game in college football coming up this weekend. But it's kind of where life is as an Alabama fan right now. Just so much good stuff going on that we're actually going to wrap up talking a little hoops, and you have to with Tide basketball team on Saturday. I can't tell you how many people were locked in. They started, with game day and then immediately trying to find FS1 so they could go and check out Alabama basketball playing at Madison Square Garden against Rick Pitino and a 5th-ranked St. John's team. Trent, it was a great win. LeBaron Philon, 25 points. Aiden Holloway, 21 and 4 assists. Taylor Bowen, 17 points, 9 boards, and a huge bucket late. And you get a 103-96 impressive win against a top 5 team. The man, being Nate Oates, of course, just keeps turning that roster over and finding a way to be nationally relevant year after year.
Yeah, it's amazing what Coach Oates is doing with that program, man. And it's every year for the last 4 years. 4
Yeah,
I wanna
5
say 4 or
years.
5
Really, I
years.
guess it's his 7th now as head coach.
Yeah. He's been doing it every year. LeBaron coming in from Mobile, dropping 25. He from our area, from the Gulf Coast. I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of Bull. Man, that doggone Bull, man, listen, that center, he is playing. He's snatching rebounds. I think he had, 10 rebounds, 17 points. So, man, listen, when your big guy can play, because lately, like, we have had a lot of guys that can shoot threes. Now you got somebody down there, think Bull might be 7 foot. Dang near 7 foot.
Well, with the wingspan, he's right at it. Yeah.
Listen, and that kid is athletic. Like, he's not one of those guys that can't shoot. He can't dribble. He can do all that. So I'm proud of him, man, and I'm waiting to see how far this program going to go this year. I'm thinking a big show, and that's why that's where my heart is at. And so when people say Alabama just a football school, listen, it's hell on earth when Alabama could be a basketball and a football school, and gymnastics and golf. And
it's like Nate Oates said after that SEC title, they'd won the regular season his second year. Why we got to be a football or a basketball school? Let's just be a championship school, and they are. And AJ, I mean, it's exciting
a dynasty.
to think. It is. It's the dynasty. And AJ White, nice job on the promo there. How huge that you had those games, those wins last weekend. But this week, we got Alabama, Oklahoma on Saturday, but on Thursday night, you got top-ranked Purdue coming in, number 1 team in the country against an Alabama team that if they updated the polls, and I don't think they do yet, they may do that, but would probably be top 5. It is clearly the marquee matchup in college hoops this week, and it comes on the heels of a great win on Saturday.
Oh, 100%. The cool thing is, I mean, hell, isn't their schedule like just a juggernaut, like one after the other?
Yeah, got Illinois and Chicago next week.
Yeah,
next Wednesday.
I mean, that's the cool part is I respect Coach Nate off of that alone, is putting his teams in tough matchups early in the season just to see where they're at. But also when it comes to the big dance at the end in March you're battle tested. And, to have Purdue come in and, the Coliseum's going to be rocking. So I think it'll be awesome. But listen, what makes that team is getting Philon back. The fact that he didn't go into the draft and you're able to get him. I mean, that he's playing lights out. It's been fun to watch.
And a great business move, because that dude, if things continue as they're trending right now, has gone from a late first round possibly pick, as he would have been a few months ago, to a guy who's a lottery pick.
True lottery pick.
Yeah. He is that good. So we'll recap what we hope is another Bama basketball win against Purdue on next week's show, and hopefully football getting it done as well. Again, thedynastybama.com is where you can find us on all the different platforms. And if you'll please check us out on social media at The Dynasty Bama, we'd appreciate it as well. For AJ, for Trent, I'm Chris. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. Roll Tide, everybody.